Nothing negative to say about this setup so far other than the spiders right there sticking in up nice. That spider just come down in front of my face. Bunch of homosexual spiders. Howdy guys, how's it going? So we're going to be revisiting our really deep, big old hole, and we're going to be doing what I had hoped to have done a little bit sooner this year, but better late than never. I'm going to be attempting to turn this whole thing into like a fully usable bushcraft shelter. So like with our last one, I put these and had these poles right here. We put the brown tarp. I cut these lower pieces to kind of act as a thing to catch any sediment or anything if it rained, and that actually worked out very well. This has had rain, snow, sleet, all that good old stuff ever since we've done that video with this just completely open and exposed. We won't have to worry about any more erosion of these inner walls, and everything will be nice and sturdy. And then just over time, it ain't going to be a big thing for the day, but we'll take and work on trimming out these exposed roots underneath. But with all that said, the next step is just going to be to get these poles out, which like right now they're frosted. They're frosted to the ground. And then I got my shovel in my bag wrapped in our emergency space blanket, so we'll get that out and get to going. I covered our bed platform, but those are still plenty usable and we will use those. I'm thinking about changing my sleeping position to go this direction as opposed to that direction, because I don't want my head super close up to where that fireplace area is because of that big chunk of rock. Now we'll break out the tool that is making all of this fine living accommodations possible. These I'm probably going to have to use for something else, but where all that stuff is, like right here, it's frozen. Right now it's about 21 degrees. That is frozen solid. Let's make that a lot heavier. I'm glad I still got my candle over here in this thing. So this wall, everything's, I mean, right now it's literally rock hard, like it's frozen solid. So, dang. Like there is some rocks in here too. Not done that intentionally. Said it was from like about right there level all the way out to here. So I removed all that, some of that wall. I widened my fireplace by about 2.5 to 3 times what it was. So we'll have all this area right here to use as our chimney out, and then I've already got a design I want to use to put to keep where any other precipitation could come down from that. So what I'm going to do now is level out this, like stomp it down, pat it down, kind of get any of the loose stuff off the walls. Alrighty guys, so this is what we got so far. I got to take and go get me some water out of the creek and boil it. So we're going to take and get a fire going underneath. But essentially what we're doing here is just building a really stable roof. I've got the most solid and dense pieces spanning the middle section where all the weight, or the majority of the weight, is going to be distributed. Now I know it's the big gaps are obvious, but if you've ever built any type of other debris shelter, then what we're going to be doing is kind of interweaving small sticks and limbs over and through these big gap areas, and then we're going to cover this with leaves and just all the debris off the forest floor, and that creates a shingle effect. So I'm not worried at all about these main logs holding the weight. Took and propped them up at like a steep but low angle, jumped up and down on them. Everything is solid. These end areas right here, I'm just capping with you know, just pieces that I find. And then for my chimney area, we're going to be using this same method that I'm using to plug up this corner along these edges right here, except for right above where the fireplace area is. And then I'm going to take and slant some sticks over that, and then we won't have any debris around that area, so we don't have to worry about sparks or anything you know, igniting that. So far I'm happy with the progress I made in this amount of time. I know that, like, as soon as I stop moving, I start to get pretty chilled. So we are in here right now, and actually at this highest point where the fireplace is, I can stand up. So that's just a good idea of the, you know, the overall size of this hole. And if I pace it off, let's see, 1, 2. The base right now is 6 feet long that way. But then, like, if you go from these inside walls to the other wall, you're probably looking at about 7 to 8 feet. And then front to back, yeah, your guess is as good as mine. That open area right there is where I'm going to put my emergency space blanket to act as like a removable, like a doorway. See how the smoke and everything is going to draft up that area, then I'll know exactly how I need to close that in. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this today. Like, we're still going to be camping out here tonight. But I want to focus on getting the smaller limbs and stuff kind of interwoven, and see if we can get a little bit of debris on there just to stop the dew and everything in the morning from coming down on us. All right, that should be good enough. See if we got enough room to get our lighter underneath there. All right, we'll take and let that get going. This place will literally be nicer and a bit larger than most New York City apartments. So also, in case this is the first video you've seen, obviously I did not dig this hole in one day. I actually dug this hole 2 years ago, and with the original idea of building a long-term bushcraft shelter, but never ended up bringing it into fruition. Then about right as winter got here, about, I don't know, 2 months ago, or, you know, the cold weather started coming in, done an overnighter in it just with those, like I said at the very beginning, we had those logs, and then I used my canvas tarp, and that was a very comfortable night with an even much small, like, you know, like I said, just basically right there, that size of from there over with the fireplace. It worked good, vented good. I think once we have this closed in with debris and everything, that will help. You know, the draft will just go straight up through there where that big rock is and go up that direction. So for an update, I'm mainly using laurel bush limbs because they're extremely easy to harvest. Like, you can basically just break them off at an angle, and as you can see, there is absolutely no shortage. I've got to cover up this lower end. Need a few more logs, or 2 or 3 more sticks right there to close in that corner, cover that up, and then after that we'll start trying to get a bunch of leaves and everything together to dump on this bad boy. But the smoke is doing exactly what it should do. Hey guys, so yesterday I ended up getting a phone call right after that last video that I shot, probably about 15-20 minutes after, and I ended up having to hike out to deal with a minor issue. But anyways, I had to leave. I left my bedroll and my tools wrapped up in the emergency space blanket. I took my backpack and my food because I didn't want to risk well, just leaving a $700 backpack out here. I mean, we're on private land, but I didn't want to risk any animals screwing with it, especially with the food inside. So that right there, that is going to hold perfectly once we start to finish getting that covered. Just a small section to cover with laurels, which won't take but probably a few minutes. But I'm going to get this leather jacket off, take this rabbit hat off, and basically just kind of get back to the same clothing setup we had yesterday. I'm getting a really good bit of leaves on that upper end, and I'll kind of move down, but I'm going to take and make me a mixed powder drink to get some electrolytes, because I definitely don't want to get as sweaty as I did yesterday. Just got a 0 sugar Gatorade mix, you know, measure it up to 16 ounces, which is conveniently marked on this bad boy. Blue. Okay, so I have a crap ton of stuff on here in the main sleeping section. Still got to take and finish up this lower end and add some more around like the edge of this left side. But I have an idea, don't know if it'll work, but to cover up our fireplace area, because right now it's already starting to drop some like really tiny pellets of sleet. There is a fallen tree over here, and I'm going to take and see if just using like one big log here, then a few more small pieces, instead of having to do a lot of sawing and make all of them vertical, and then covering up all of it with debris except for the area where the smoke's going to leave, and then maybe just covering that with sticks, just kind of shed water and slow it from coming down, because right now it's just coming in as sleet. It's only going to get colder. So more than enough stuff on top. There's no light holes inside. I just finished lining this top area with laurel limbs, and I'm going to leave this V section right here open for the smoke to come up through, and I'll be very light around this area with the amount of debris that I put, because we really just need it to kind of help dissipate the water. There'll be so much heat right here that you know, unless we had like inches and inches of rain coming, it's just been steadily dropping some sleet, and everything's kind of still. Look at that tree. I've always thought that tree was pretty cool. You know, everything's pretty still, but I'm going to take and get back and finish covering up this area. Alrighty, guys and gals, we are pretty much ready to get moved in, aside from just putting on the tarp as a door, which I'm not going to do quite yet. All in all, we really didn't get much of any debris in here. The few loose leaves that have fell in, just going to leave them, and the ones up towards that end, I'll probably just burn them. I left a couple little air gaps on the corners just to kind of help with airflow and make sure it don't get too stuffy in here. But there's no light spots. There's no light spots or anything except for those few holes. I mean, those few gaps, and there's even like overhang over them, so if it does snow, it'll compact it down. But tonight's food's going to be great. It's so nice to have all this room to move around. Now, as far as our sleep system, just going to be using a wool blanket, but I'm trying something new. I've got a yoga mat that I found at Goodwill for $2. It's really dense, a bit heavier too. Trying to figure out which side. So yeah, it's got some funky yellow pattern on it, but you know, it's like if this thing gets messed up, it was $2, and you know, where it's made of this, whatever material this is, it'll be waterproof. Oh, and when we already got this wood base, we should be good to go. But man, I'm telling you, this is nice. I got the tarp pretty much the emergency space blanket with the reflective side facing in. The only gap that I'm going to adjust for is this right here, and it is like sleeting right now. I'm not worried about that little gap for this time being, and all that's like goes at the edge of the shelter, so the runoff's there, and I'm going to wrap that with this, like a heavier stick. But yeah, once I get the food done, then I will get that taken care of, that spot right there, before the snow comes in. But I'm thinking about sleeping this direction with the pad and turning everything around. Right now I'm using the backpack as a rest, and I've got the stuff on that orange piece of plastic, and I'm going to take that orange bag and slit it open so I don't have to worry about my wool blanket getting dirty in this direction. The other thing is, you know, like what little bit of moisture gets in here right now. I don't know if you can hear that on the tarp. Any little bit that does drip in from this little gap right here will be like, it'll dry out extremely fast once we get the fire going. Now that this place is closed in, let's go get down into the teens tonight. Thing is venting perfectly out of that opening that we left for the chimney. Most of that right there is actually just kind of steam where things are heating up, and we've got this like freezing, sleeting rain. But very, very happy with how it is so far. And once that fire gets cooked, everything inside that got a little moist whenever I was fixing the tarp will dry up. Trying something new today that I've never had before. I think it's called a ramen bomb or something like that, but all it is ramen noodles, in my case chicken flavored, with instant potatoes. And look at that spider right there trying to get warm. But yeah, I don't know how much instant potatoes I'd need, so that's why I've got so much. I'm sure that's like enough for who knows how many meals, but that's a great thing to carry, because it's extremely light and it's pretty filling once you you know, once you get it all mixed up. I really don't know if I should just make one first and try it, and then have the other one as a secondary. I think that's what I'm going to do. I have to go get some more water too, I think. I got one bottle with me, but that should be good. Because like we want there to be water in it more than normal, because that's what's going to help mix in the the potatoes. I normally take and add my noodles, you know, just beforehand. That kind of helps them soften up a little bit quicker. I'm going to take and do her like that. Put the lid on there so we don't get no leaf debris or anything coming down. And I got my gloves right there drying out. I'm just going to see if I can make a spot right here. Or actually, let me see if I can leverage some sticks or something in here, and I can kind of use as a steady place to set my pot. Beautiful. There will be boiling and cooking in no time. Make sure I don't throw away the flavor packet. That would be a travesty. And then after I eat it, I can just heat it back up, and I can do the other one, because I definitely want both. I'm very, very hungry. Probably can't see it, but there's a bunch, well, not a bunch, but there's been probably 3 or 4 little spiders started to like come down from the top where I've got all that debris on there. Some of them, I'm guessing, was like hibernating, but there's little, none of them dangerous, just little I just call them woodland spiders. I don't know what species they are. The noodles are about done, and we'll try this ramen bomb deal. It's a little lopsided spot, but it'll be okay. I think a few more seconds. We don't want them too soupy. I mean, like too squishy. And I'm not joking. It is hot as all get out in here. Like, it's almost too hot. I'm probably going to take this hoodie off. Sweet. Okay, so we got that. Now let me take my gloves off so I don't get none of the crap that's on them on these. But you can't beat it, bro. Got kind of some freezing rain, gonna have some snow, and you get to enjoy it in a hole. You know, it's like, now I've never thought about it, but these flavor packets would be good on mashed potatoes by themselves. Jesus, that's hot. Get it all stirred up, or somewhat stirred up. Let me just splash water everywhere. Set that right there. And we'll add in. Just gonna do it a little bit at a time because I really don't know how much I should be adding in. Okay, definitely way more than that. The kind I'm using, this is Idaho Spuds, something like that. Right there is thickening up nice. That spider just come down in front of my face. Bunch of homosexual spiders. Okay, that right there looks good, but I'm going to add a little bit more. I don't know where to hold this so you can see it, but it looks delicious. So now all there's left to do is give her a go. Well, boys, hands down my new favorite way to eat ramen noodles. That really that gives it a lot. I mean, not as far as flavor, but just as the consistency, it gives it a lot more. I'm glad I just made one because that is going to be enough right now, and then I'll have one later tonight before I go to bed. Coffee time. I have got the same coffee that I used last time. It's that Folgers Do Jig, but this time I'd also done this yesterday, but I made sure that I also done it today. Is I brought a little container of milk. This in my pack wrapped up. It's been, I mean, I set it out after I got here, but this little container has a really tight lid, no leaking issues. If you're really worried about that and you didn't have a good place to put it, you could always tape it, but that's enough. Should be enough for, I think, I mean, definitely enough for 2 cups of coffee, because I'm gonna have coffee in the morning, and then tonight I'm just gonna set this outside of here because it will get kind of room temperature in here pretty quick. Well, I mean, it is room temperature, but that'll get room temperature as well, and that's not what milk likes. The coal's going. Wish I had a way to keep that handle from getting dickishly hot, but not in the cards. I put my leather jacket on, not because it's cold in here, just because I'm going to be wearing it tonight when it does get really cold, and I'm trying to prevent any spiders from getting in it. So there is more in here than I expected there would be this time of year. Like I said, like the last time I camped here, no spiders in the hole. They just are coming from the debris. I mean, like if you never camped in a debris shelter, that's plenty normal. Like the most dangerous spiders that we have here in Virginia are brown recluse and black widow spiders, but I've only seen one in the woods once, especially this area. Okay, yeah, that's plenty good and warmed up. It's starting to form little bubbles on the bottom. Okay, fingers crossed I can do this and not burn my other glove. Yeah, nice and steamy. I did forget to get my spoon out, so. Man, I wish I didn't have to put this leather jacket on. Your boy here is going to be sweating here in a second. And I will have to go out and get more wood here in a bit, but I'm going to wait till it turns to snow. I don't know, but like, ooh, let me just spill it. That was actually a lot more filling than I'm trying to doctor this thing up a little bit with milk, because I mean, like I said, this coffee, Jesus Christ, can I just spill more on myself? This coffee's not the best. But coffee's coffee, you know? Well, I mean, not coffee ain't just coffee, but it's better than no coffee. Let me set that right here. underneath you guys if you don't mind, and try to get, I don't know, try to get more of this on there. Oh man, so much better with milk. Like I said, I don't know if you guys can see that. I won't spill this on myself. It is a bit warm. Alrighty guys, so I'm gonna take and chill out under here while, you know, listen to it rain, maybe listen to some music, and just try to have a nice relaxing time. And also maybe work out some type of treaty with these spiders, you know, make an agreement that I won't bite them if they don't bite me. I think we can go about it with some diplomacy. It should be a-okay. Nothing negative to say about this setup so far, other than the spiders. To mention, I've killed probably like 15, so we should be completely good to go. Everything is very, very iced up. Like, it's not just, no, everything's just covered in ice. Like, nothing's even coming off this stuff, so I have to get the saw out and saw it up. But I'll bring you guys inside in a second, and we'll get to checking everything out. Here we go. This is the humble abode. It's just now about 9 o'clock. I got to take and refix that. I just got back in from getting firewood. Got some in here, kind of got that elevated drying out. But I got quite a bit more right outside that door. And then my plan is after that bit dries out, I'm going to stack it against that wall. And then I'm going to bring that in. I've already like kind of shook the snow and stuff off of it, but there is going to be more. Bring that in, stack all that on that corner. I'll kind of show you guys more about like the exact way I'm going to lay out my bed whenever I get up in the morning. It's kind of too cramped in here right now to get a really good shot and be able to explain, because I have decided I'm basically going to sleep at an angle. So I'll have my mat, because I'll still be on the wood. I'll have my pad, and I'll be right here close to the fire. I can reach back right here, grab whatever I need. I'm under the main protective part of the shelter, and aside from that, I can't really think of anything else I would need to explain to you guys. Like, you know, we got a nice little candle ambiance, a really warm fire. The door's great. I mean, as you can see at the ground, we have had, no, it's kind of dark over in that corner, but after all the freezing rain that we got and the snow, extremely pleased with how this shelter turned out. So thanks for watching so far. I'm gonna chill out for a bit more, listen to some more music. Got an audio book I want to check out, and just make sure my firewood supply is good. Either way, I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about getting cold, because this is very well insulated between having 4 dirt walls and then everything on top. So as long as the spiders don't eat me in the middle of the night, we'll be good to go. So see you guys in the morning. Good morning, guys. How's it going? Last night was pretty dang comfortable, all things considered. It got actually extremely windy. Like when they say that it was going to be 40-mile-an-hour winds, it's what we ended up getting. But this thing held together great. I don't think if it wasn't for all of that freezing rain and ice, we would have ended up losing quite a bit of the covering above us. But kept the snow out, kept dry, let the fire die out. At some point, we'll start it back up and get it warmed up in here. But I mean, I'm completely comfortable. I didn't even need to put on the wool sweater, just to put on the leather jacket over my hoodie and that other underlayer. Stuck with these gloves, didn't need the other mittens. Really, you know, very, very pleased with how this turned out overall. I don't think I'm going to screw around making coffee or nothing. I just want to start up a little morning fire real quick and get warmed up a little bit more, and pack everything up and then head out. One thing I am surprised, I left that candle burning last night, and it's still going, so it's been burning now. That candle, I don't know how long it was supposed to last, but it's still going down. It seems like it's only halfway from what it was. So anyways, I'm gonna get this stuff situated, and then like I said, start a little fire, because I got some pine cones yesterday, like last night, before I laid down, with a little bit more wood and stuff to have in case I needed it, and I'll use those to start a fire this morning, and I'll jam this stuff into the bag and eat I do have a breakfast bar, so I'll eat a breakfast bar. But I'm a fan of that yoga mat. Like, if it wasn't for having like this wooden floor here from like the last time, then like it would definitely wouldn't be enough to insulate you from the ground, but it's pretty comfortable. Like, where it's so dense, it's got a lot of like it's got a lot more cushion to it than you think it would. So well, guys, thanks for watching and coming along on this little overnight adventure. I hate that the very first day that I was able to come out, I had to leave for that family issue. Like I said, nothing major, but anyways, you know, it was a great night. I'm glad I got this built. I will definitely try to do a few more things with this shelter as far as improvements go, and you know, finding another time to do an overnighter, but got other outings and stuff planned while we still got all this phenomenal cold weather. So yeah, just to remind you guys, in case this is you know, you're new, be sure to check the links in the description to my other channels. I've actually got a gaming channel, which I know is a stark contrast between this type of stuff and, you know, modern day entertainment. And I've also got a shooting channel, so you know, check those out if any of that type of stuff interests you, and you know, you kind of get to see a different side of my other hobbies. So there you go, guys. Just, you know, be safe, get out there if you can. Until the next one, adios.